Hello, I'm Lana Keegan and I'm an animation master's student, and today I will discuss my presentation which is on how gamifying daily tasks can benefit social issues, how can creating a mobile game utilising virtual reality technology and smartphones can help educate and encourage people to recycle. This presentation will focus on how I aim to answer the question that I proposed within the title of the report through using information gathered in my research. What I propose as an answer is an app which will utilise virtual reality to interact with a target audience and encourage them to partake in a behaviour which will improve on the way they recycle and how much they recycle, as well as help to educate them and reward them for said behaviour. How will the app work? The app uses a camera on the phone to scan the code on the packaging or the item the user has and will provide them with information on how to properly recycle the item. Not only that, the app will then show them the nearest area they can dispose of the item correctly. The user will then scan a code that's on the correct bin and gain points. After they've collected a certain amount of points or completed tasks such as recycle 5 plastic bottles, they will be given a reward, which could be a code or vouchers for free items. I will then also look into advertising this app to the target audience using social media to my advantage and why I will use it. When talking about the target audience, I needed to find out the who, the why and the what. The who being who I was going to target, why are they so bad at recycling, and what can be done to help improve. When researching into which age group was the worst at recycling, I was surprised to find that in fact, according to information gathered from a poll run by SECO and conducted by Future Thinking in 2017, that it was in fact 16 to 35 year olds. Only 49% said they already recycle as much as they can, which is very low compared to the other age groups, with the other age groups reaching over 70%. And even more surprisingly, over 75s were the best, with 81% recycling as much as they can. Why is this age group the worst at recycling? The main reason is confusion. 9% say recycling information on the product is too confusing, and 7% saying they aren't sure whether they can or cannot recycle the product. According to information gathered from the British Science Association, no one's able to correctly answer a survey fully on recycling. This confusion leads to people not being able to recycle the products properly, which leads to a huge amount of recycling being wasted and being sent to landfills. Another reason is simply they can't be bothered, with 2% admitting they can't be bothered. Not only that, due to the confusion on whether they can or cannot recycle, when unsure, only 33% of people take the time to look up before throwing it away. What needs to be done to prove the issues gathered from this information? Well, firstly, the target audience need to be able to obtain information on whether the item is recyclable easily and quickly. The information needs to be easy to understand and available on hand. This leads me into my next topic and why we should format the information and make it interesting to the target audience, as well as incentivizing them. Why a gaming app? The behaviour and mindset of the target audience needs to be changed. Their view of recycling also has to be changed as well. It can't be seen as a chore to do, but more of a fun task. This means there needs to be more interaction that encourages the user to carry out the task of correctly recycling the item. Not only that, they need to have a reason to want to do it. There needs to be incentive as well as a feeling of reward for doing this task. What provides a user with interactive experience that encourages and rewards them for carrying small tasks? A game, of course, but why an app? Well, the information needs to be quick to attain and understandable, and what does everyone have? A phone, so why not use that? According to a report carried out cross-platform Future in Focus, 18-year-olds and older spend over 2 hours and 51 minutes on their phone daily. While researching the psychology behind gaming, I came across Actionable Gamification Beyond Points, Badges and Leaderboards by Yokai Chow, published 2016. Chow talks about how they created an Oculus framework that talks about core drivers and how they motivate us and our actions. This work can be summarized into 8 core drivers. 1. Epic meaning and calling. 2. Development and accomplishment. 3. Empowerment of creative and freedom. 4. Ownership and possession. 5. Social influence and relatedness. 6. Scarcity and impatience. 7. Unpredictability and curiosity. 8. Loss and avoidance. They go on to say how everything we do is based on one of these 8 core drivers, and without it there's no motivation behind the actions, and even notes the best and most successful games are able to appeal to certain core drivers. The different drivers appeal to different aspects of the left and the right brain, with the left brain having more extrinsic motivations such as finishing a goal, gaining rewards and items, and the right brain having intrinsic motivations, which relies on one's own creativity and the enjoyment of the activity themselves. When applying to the game an app I want to create, I need to figure out what core drivers to implement in the app to create the desired motivation with the target audience. What core drivers to implicate? When applying the concepts of different drivers to the mobile game that I want to introduce, I need to figure out which aspects of the different drivers I want to integrate into the game to create the desired motivations within my target audience. Development and accomplishment. The app needs to challenge the user to create a sense of meaningful reward and that they've accomplished something. Ownership and possession. The app needs to appeal to the need to gain wealth in the form of points gained by completing a task, which feeds in the previous core driver. Social influence and relatedness. This appeals to the need for social acceptance, as well as the need to surpass friends and skill level. Unpredictability and curiosity, also known as the core behind addictive behaviour. The not knowing what rewards will be given will play into human nature of being fascinated by not knowing what will come next. By implementing all of this stated core drivers, the end result should create a mobile game that gives users a sense of wanting to recycle, to finish the task, to receive the reward, and associate the pleasant feeling with recycling, which will result in wanting to recycle more and more. Where are my objections for the final report? Research on how virtual reality affects gaming and its benefits. Research further in depth the psychology behind gaming and what makes us want to keep playing more and more. Research into the psychology of positive reinforcement and how to implicate this in games. And research the psychology behind forming positive habits. Any questions?